What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to another episode of the Dossier, the Marvel Crisis Protocol show where we discuss all things Marvel Crisis Protocol character related. We'll take a quick look at their character model, what it was like to build them, paint them, what we think about them in general, and then of course we'll take a look at the card, and if there's any tactics cards that really stand out, we'll discuss those as well. Now, just remember, these are not meant to be the final say on these characters. They are just meant to be a snapshot, an idea of what to expect with these characters, generate some discussion, and allow you to start looking deeper into it if it's a character that interests you. And there's lots of great discussion online surrounding these characters. And of course, these shows can't help them with without the wonderful support of my patrons. You can be a patron too, patreon.com/Aegis Studios. $1 a month, $12 a year, keeps this content coming, basically. I can't thank you guys enough for that one. It allows me to keep up with this, which is just absolutely great. So today we are looking at Crimson Dynamo, Dmitry Bukarn, I believe the name is. Yeah, Bukarn. And he is the leader of the Winter Guard. And this is a character that I think was really interesting because when he came out, I think a lot of people kind of slept on him. And once people started really looking at his kit, oh boy, did he start becoming interested. So let's take a look at his character here. Like, his model itself is very, very simple. There's not a lot of details to it. It's a lot of flat panels. It's a very simplistic look. It kind of mirrors Iron Man in some regards. Like, it's got that outstretched hand ready to do some like just repulsor goodness. Got the tactical rock, obviously. And there's not really a lot to say about it. I mean, the large model is very easy to assemble, very easy to paint. A lot of straight edges for some edge highlighting. You can really kind of push the color on it a little bit if you want. I think it looks great. I think he was great for a lot of conversions. I've seen a lot of really cool ones. Some people have sort of like made a Vader version of Dynamo, which was really cool. But yeah, unfortunately, not really much to say on it. I think his model is fine. I don't think it's really anything amazing, but it's definitely not at the bottom of the barrel either. So that is the Crimson Dynamo character. So let's take a look at this card here. And we have 6 stamina. He is a short move. He is size 3, 4 threat, 4/3/4 for his defenses. Right off the hop, he is a tanky boy. He's got a lot of stamina. I believe he's 6 on the other side as well. So he's got a lot of stamina. He's got some great defenses there. The energy is average, but he's got some other stuff to really back that up. So great defensive stat line right there. We have his Electric Blast, which is a beam 4 energy attack for 5 dice. It is a gainer, so the more targets you hit with this, you're going to gain a single power off each one of the attacks. And it's got a Wild Shock. This is such a good utility attack, especially on anything E-shaped. The ability to hit 2, 3, or even 4 characters with his attack, not only does that mean he's going to be gaining a whole bunch of power off it, but the potential of shocking the enemy team and just really reducing their damage output is fantastic. I cannot overstate that enough. This is one of those abilities that I've had win games for me. It's so good. We got Homing Rockets, a physical attack, range 5, 5 dice for 2 power. It ignores line of sight, no cover. It's got a Wild Explosive. So before damage is dealt, enemy characters within range 2 of the target character suffer 1 damage. I don't use this one nearly as much, not because it's not a good attack, I think it is. It's just, when I bring them to the table, it's just the beams are usually the better option. But if you need to push a little bit of damage through onto a particularly tough character, being able to put 1 unanswered damage through the explosive is actually really solid, and you can create some cool things with this. I've tinkered around with some lists that like have a whole bunch of like the splash damage, explosive damage type thing, and that adds up. It's most characters in this game don't have a lot of stamina. Most are like around 5 or 6 per side, and if you plunk them a couple times with explosive attacks like that health will go down pretty quickly. So yeah, very solid attack. He's got the Unbreakable Red Line for the Winter Guard. At the start of an allied character's activation, it may remove 1 special condition. This basically says you are never getting staggered. It is a good leadership in that regard. Or it gets rid of a lot of annoying status effects like Incinerate, Shock, Stun, just everything. And then when an allied character is contesting a secure objective and would be pushed, basically roll a Shield, Wild, or Crit, and they're no longer pushed. It's okay. I mean, it has to be on a secure, but a 50% chance I think it's a 50% chance to not be pushed is it's fine. It's good. I mean, when it works, it's awesome. When it doesn't work, well, it doesn't work. We have the first active ability, Overcharge Capacitors for 0 power. It is an action. This character gains 2 power. In a pinch, if you need power, really solid. We got an active ability, Propulsion Thrusters for 2 power. Place this character within range 2 of its current position, can only be used once per turn. On a medium-sized base, range 2 is a lot farther than you think, and it's great for setting up all sorts of beams. It makes them a little bit more mobile, which is excellent. And if you can line up a shot of like 3-4 characters with this and do that twice, you're almost getting full power on a single activation from only spending 2 power, which is awesome. And here's where he wants to spend all his power. He's got Disruption Field as a reactive ability for 2 power. When another allied character is targeted, or when this character or another allied character is targeted by an enemy attack. So keep in mind, this is very important. The timing here is when the attack targets the character. And they're within 3 of Crimson Dynamo. This character can spend 2 power, and the attacking character will have to reroll 2 of their dice. This is such an obnoxiously good ability. Once again, I've had this win games for me. I've shut down power generation. I've shut down triggers. It is so good. It is so good. And Dynamo just has this knack of gaining so much power so fast. I've recently twigged on a good chunk of my community to just how good Dynamo actually is. So now, unfortunately, I'm on the receiving end of Dynamo these days, and it's rough. He's very obnoxious, especially once you factor in his last power here. It's an innate ability. Carborundum Matrix Alloy. It is damage reduction. Reduce damage suffered to a minimum of 1 by 1. And then he's got Flight. So all in all, between the dice rerolls, his damage reduction, his great defenses, Dynamo is a very tough character to take down. He's obnoxiously tough. I think most of the time when I lose him, it's usually because he's been spiked down as opposed to nickel and dimed. Because if you just want to try and nickel and dime him, it's going to take a good while to do so. And if you're going to do it from outside of range 3. Because if he's going to start re-rolling some of your attack dice, he's going to shut off all those triggers, those wild triggers that you want, those rapid fire triggers that you want. He is just obnoxiously good. I think he's probably on the hit list, and we're going to see a change in him coming up soon. So that's Crimson Dynamo. So obviously, where's he go? Well, Winter Guard, obviously. But I think where he really likes to be is if you can put him into any sort of position where you can give him some rerolls to try and fish for those wild shocks. Amazing. He will absolutely love that. Anytime you can get those wilds off and just disrupt the entire team, it is absolutely golden. I've had a lot of people have had a lot of success with him in Shield. Became very popular after Vince Kirkov won the LVO with that, with Dynamo on the list. I am kind of proud and hipstery to say that I was running Dynamo on the list well before that particular event last year. So I saw what was going on with that one as well and recognized a really good thing when it hit. So yeah, Shield absolutely loves him. Anytime you want to just be fighting right down the middle. If you're playing an affiliation that really likes to scrap and brawl and use those E-shaped maps, Dynamo is right there. He is so good on E-shapes. He's kind of the king of E-shapes in a lot of regards. And he's just, I really like him. I've had some fun with him in Doctor Strange Defenders as well, being able to change that beam into whatever attack type you need it to be, and then add a hex on top of it all. Being able to both hex and shock characters is just debilitating, and it's a lot of fun when you can get it off, which I really enjoy with that particular aspect. But Dynamo is very good. He slots into a lot of places. If you need a little bit of muscle, he's really good. If you're able to bolster that defense a little bit more, he just becomes an absolute brick and so difficult to take down. So yeah, I think a lot of places will definitely see some good out of him. But he really likes those E-shaped maps. So if that is a big component of your particular roster building, take advantage of it. Put Dynamo in. You will not regret it. Sound off in the comments below. What did you like, not like, all that sort of stuff? Do you want to push back on anything? Get involved in the discussion. And of course, if you want to support the channel, patreon.com/AegisBrandStudios. Until next time, happy wargaming.